More honesty, more transparency, and overall just a more pleasant experience.
It makes it more fun. It makes it more enjoyable, I think, for me and very much believe for the client.
International Diamond Center, 4 Orlando locations.
If you're a business owner, you can find new customers here on Florida Man Radio with Bubba the Love Sponge.
We'll hype you up in my show, mornings.
Have your company featured during middays.
Justin Clark here, 10 to noon.
Or jump in with me, Dan Bongino, from noon till 3.
Or we can plug you in during prime PM drive.
Yep, I've got you covered during the Shannon Burke Show.
We'll create a custom marketing plan based on your goals and budget.
Just visit FloridaManRadio.com and click on the Advertise tab.
Taking over Central Florida and now the Emerald Coast. It's time to think about your lawn. Chinch bugs, sod web worms are all ready to wreak havoc. So head to Do-It-Yourself Pest Products in Fern Park now. Do-It-Yourself Pest Products, 8355 South Highway 1792, Fern Park, 407-830-4505.
Oh, hell no.
Is that what I think it is in Florida?
I knew about hurricanes, but hell?
I hope it doesn't dent our cars.
Shoot, I hope it doesn't damage our roof. I don't want to leak.
We should call that feller at Karma Roofing to come check us out. I hear they have free inspections.
Good idea. They can set us up right before a hurricane hits. When all hell breaks loose, call Karma Roofing to come by and give you a free roof inspection. That's 321-GO-KARMA. Or visit us online at karmaroofing.com. Karma Roofing. We do the right thing. CCC 133-2723.
With spring in the air, now's the time to get your AC system tuned up or replaced before the scorching heat of summer arrives. But no need to sweat it with Titan AC and heating on your home team. Titan will evaluate your needs and provide a custom solution just for you. Titan Air proudly services and installs Amana products with financing and system maintenance plans available. So don't wait until the heat is on and your AC goes out. Beat the heat and lower your energy costs with Amana. Call Titan Air now at 407-296-9622 or go to TitanAirFL.com.
So what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the Justin Clark Show on Florida Man Radio.
Hour number 1 today is all about getting to know LilShawn. And to be clear with management, we are going in straight lines, okay? I thought the news today was boring. I've been spending a lot more time with LilShawn, even outside of here, and I wanted to get to know him better. This was the plan, though, for hour number 1 for me. So it's not that we're not going in straight lines.
Right.
This was the plan. We are going in a very straight line, and the straight line is I wanted to get to know you better. And your story began, you were born in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Where in Puerto Rico?
Caguas, Puerto Rico.
Wherever, yeah. Well, I don't know why I asked. I was hoping you'd say San Juan, because I have no idea where that is. Is it?
It's close.
I don't think anyone knows anything other than San Juan, right?
Yeah, they know San Juan, Carolina, Ponce, all those. But yeah, San Juan is the most popular.
I got pissed off one day and decided I wanted to get on a plane and go somewhere, which that happens to me from time to time. That's how I found Panama City, Panama, in fact, because I was just looking at international flights and it was the last one out. And I said, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico because, it's, the story of LilShawn here. Oh, yeah. Documentary music. I like this. And I said, all right, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico, damn it. And so I booked a hotel. Then I went to the airport, booked my flight on the way on my phone. And then I got on the plane and I ended up in Ponce, but my hotel is in San Juan because I thought there was this one place. I didn't realize Puerto Rico was so big.
Yeah, it's the other side of the island.
It was far away. It was about $180 Uber. Yes, that's all I know. Anyway, so you end up you start out in Puerto Rico, right?
I was born in Caguas, raised in Juncos.
Okay. And how was Puerto Rico life for you?
Amazing.
You liked it?
We lived like countryside. It wasn't like the city. I lived like in the mountains, like hillside, if you will, country hillside. So, and then my mom's side of the family was on one side of the street, if you will.
Yeah.
And then my dad's side of the family was on the other side of the street. So like Maitland, like my mom's side lived on this side, my dad's side lived over there.
So the whole family was right there.
Yeah.
But then at some point, we got up and left? Were we in trouble? Were we scared of something? Did we?
No, I think my mom wanted to leave Puerto Rico. Her and my dad were having a rift, so she was leaving him too. Or she was gonna leave to Rochester, where her sister was already at, and explore and see what's up. But then we went up there, lived with my mom's sister, which is kind of crazy. We were like 3 boys sleeping in one bed, one up, one down, one up, like that, And then my mom got on welfare, and which she hated, by the way. And then my dad came up after we got a place.
Oh, so they didn't divorce?
No.
Oh. Did they make it? No.
They made it a few more years. He went back to Puerto Rico, came back, and then I think he left when I was 11.
And so how was your relationship with your dad when he came to New York? Were you guys tight or no?
I think that's why I'm so tight with my son.
Yeah, because you weren't.
I don't even remember a conversation with my dad like that.
Really?
I remember him being like involved sometimes, but not really. He was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So he drank a lot. You know how I learned how to drive stick?
No.
In Puerto Rico, my dad would be driving in a stick shift car, right? And then I'd be little. Puerto Rico, of course, like 4 or 5 years old. And I learned the stick shift, because when he would change gears, he would have me change the gears while he was taking a hit of his Bacardi.
Really?
Pouring it in the little cup, in the cap, because it comes like a little shot glass. He'll be pouring it in the cap and drinking, and I'm shifting gears while he's doing the clutch.
Really?
So to me, that was fun. I didn't know he was drinking and driving.
Well, it was cool because you could shift gears.
He drove fine.
My dad was cool, don't get me wrong, also an alcoholic. Pretty bad, I would say. And then when I turned like 13 or 14, we were living in Tennessee. I have 2 little brothers at the time who were, I think, 8 and 9. And so he has 3 kids right there. And he decides, my parents are going to get divorced or whatever. And he decides, instead of like getting a house down the street or in the neighboring city, he decides he wants to go work for 84 Lumber Company, making $20,000 a year in Fort Myers, Florida, 20 hours away or whatever. And so when I look back on that, it's always like weird to me that how could you be a father? And my dad's dead. And so, God rest his soul. And if he's watching from heaven or whatever, I'm not talking trash, Dad. I'm just trying to figure you out. Like, how would you leave 3 young kids, and go that far away? I mean, it would be one thing if he was working for, like, the Secret Service or something. You could almost understand that. Or he got a great TV gig with Fox News based out of Fort Myers. But to sell 2x4s, you leave 3 kids to make $20,000 a year selling 2x4s in Fort Myers. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
Right.
And so I think that's one of the things I could never really figure out. And I don't think our relationship certainly was never the same after that. But he was always cool. Don't get me wrong. But like up until the time he got sick, we would talk maybe once every 2 or 3 months. I mean, we didn't really talk that much. Because I think as a child, especially when you're an older brother like I was, where I felt like then I had to become the dad to these 2 little boys who, by the way, I'm greatest guys in the world. I love my little brothers to death. But I think there's like an abandonment thing there probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you had maybe a little bit of that. I don't know. Can't figure it out.
I was the middle of 3 boys.
Yeah. And then how did your older brother handle it?
Man, my older brother, I think he handled it. Because that was his best friend too.
Yeah.
But he handled it with, back in those days, late 80s, early 90s, gangs, New York. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was hanging around with a lot of gangs and a lot of hoodlums, if you will.
Yeah. And Dad wasn't around to like smack him around.
And then my brother and my mom kind of got into it. So my mom sent him to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Because my mom got started seeing some guy, and we were all like overprotective.
Right.
Oh, that's her mom. You can't see her. So he didn't like the guy. The guy didn't like. So she sent him to Puerto Rico. My older brother. So him and my dad hung out in Puerto Rico for a while and whatnot.
And is that the brother who was killed?
Yeah.
So your brother ended up here in Orlando with you, and then it got shot and killed.
Well, it wasn't shot.
Oh.
He was with some people, and the story gets hazy, and they got into a fight, and he could fight. It was 3 people, so one of them was getting beat down, and then the other 2 jumped in,
and that killed him. A fight killed him.
No, they ended up. I mean, after they tied him up, and then they ended up in Westmont Lake over here. They ended up taking him to the shallow, and they drowned him in the shallow right there, bro.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah,
really.
I don't even like driving by that area.
I bet.
Yeah,
it's your big brother. You almost wish you got shot as opposed to going out that way. You know what I mean? I didn't know that. I assumed he got shot. Unbelievable.
And then he had a son that was 2. And then remember, my mom had 3 boys.
Yeah.
So that was another boy that came. So, and then his wife was pregnant with the first daughter. So she was the first girl in the family. She's now 21, a nurse, has a daughter, and married herself. They're both amazing kids.
Yeah.
But I became, like a dad.
Right.
Because now I was at the radio station saved my life.
Yeah.
Because that happened in February. I started the radio station in January 99. That happened in February 99. So the radio station saved my life because I was able to go there and take my mind off of things,
Because you would have been out for blood, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because that's
For
how you
sure.
grow up in Puerto Rico, but certainly and I don't think people understand Rochester and Buffalo have some tough areas, too. I mean, there is a lot of tough stuff that goes on there, and you're taught that if someone does something to your family, you don't care if they press charge or anything. You're going to go kill them.
Yeah.
And that probably went through your head.
Oh, no, we went searching.
Yeah?
Yeah, we went searching because we thought it was some other people. We didn't know that who it was that night. So the guy who it was actually a friend of his, because they got in an altercation with friends. So he's the first house I went to because I went to him to ask
figure
for
out
help.
Oh,
because
for
he
real.
knew. So I went to his house to let him know, hey, we're gonna go look for these other guys. There's me and my 3 guys in there. We're loaded up right now. You want to come?
Yeah.
But his wife answered the door. He wasn't there. Little did I know that it was him.
Did you ever talk to him after that? I mean,
No,
did you?
we never seen him.
Was there any time that you didn't know it was him when you actually did talk to him and say, "Hey, let's go get these guys"? Did you guys ever talk or no?
No, they caught him that night.
Oh, they caught him.
Yeah, they caught him.
Oh,
that
really?
night. And then they put his family in protective custody because they thought, they knew somebody was gonna go do something to the family too. They were gonna erase his whole family, his kids and his wife and everything. So, and thank God it didn't happen. You
Yeah.
look back and you're like, wow, this
Right.
hood stories.
I mean, you probably wouldn't be here.
Oh no!
I mean,
no, I was prepared to go to prison. I thought my rite of passage was, now I gotta go to prison.
Right.
I gotta go avenge my brother's death and kill this guy and his family, and then I'm gonna be in prison.
So what happened? Like, what in the world could make 2 friends like that have that sort of fight?
Money and disrespect.
Yeah.
They accused them of taking money. They accused them of stealing some money, and I think it was like $500.
Yeah.
And they were out at City Walk, and they were partying. They were accusing, so they had a fight there. And then they ended up somehow coming all back to the vehicle, which was like in the parking lot. And it so happens that the guy, when he opens his door, he finds his money on the floorboard of his car. So he's like, it just fell out of his pocket, when he was driving. So now it turns into like, oh, look, because the other guys that he was with, the story is that they let that guy who was like a bully, they let him like reach into their pockets. And my brother was like, man, you're not going to reach in my pockets. If you don't trust me, you're not going to reach in my pockets and disrespect me like that.
Right.
So that's how it started.
Jeez. Unbelievable. I'm glad you didn't do anything.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
glad,
For sure.
First of all, selfishly, I'm glad you're here with me on the radio. But for your sake, you would have been locked up forever, as sort of like, this is what I'm supposed to do to protect my family type of thing. And I don't think, after a few months, you're probably not that happy in that prison for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So thank God you didn't. How did they catch the guy that quickly? How did the cops figure it out?
They had video cameras of like the neighborhood with the vehicle that was going by. Some of the neighbors seen a vehicle that was parked there, so it matched the description. And when they called me that morning, they were asking me if I knew any one of his friends who had a vehicle like this, and I said, "Oh yeah, this person." They didn't tell me why. So.
All right, back up just a little bit. So you go from Puerto Rico to Rochester as a young boy, and then how do you end up leaving upstate New York or Western New York, as I guess they call it up there, to come down to Florida?
Well, from there, my mom, like I said, got with my stepfather, so we moved to Brooklyn.
And this is the guy that you guys didn't like?
We didn't like him at We didn't like him at first.
And now when we look back, do we like him?
Yeah, he's good people.
He's all right.
Yeah, he was good people.
He's all right, or
he's all right.
All right.
Yeah, we could have done without him.
Okay.
But we are.
It could have been worse.
We are who we are today because of that.
Yeah, I got you.
But then we moved to Brooklyn because he's from Brooklyn. So
Yeah.
we moved to Brooklyn for about 4 or 5 years. So I finished middle school there, started high school in Brooklyn, and then I moved to Jacksonville, Florida.
How the hell does that happen?
His mom, because my stepfather's mom, we moved her in a U-Haul to Jacksonville. And we loved it so much. They loved it so much. We went straight back with the same U-Haul, got our stuff, and came straight down. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And how was your life in Brooklyn? Was this like in the projects? Did he have a nice house? What was life like there?
No, we lived in a brownstone building, which is like a regular apartment building.
Right
And
now, you could probably buy that brownstone for like $8 million too, by the way. You know what I mean? Brooklyn's changed since you've been there.
Oh, yeah. And I always go back to that same neighborhood when I go
Yeah.
back. It's really, really changed.
Now it's like all white yuppies like working at
is.
the tech business or
It was
whatever.
Williams, Kingsborough, actually. It was Nostrand Avenue and Avenue M. And I
Yeah.
went to Sheepshead Bay High School up there. So, and then I came down to Florida, went to Ed White High School in Jacksonville because of that. We lived there for about 8 months to I think 10 months, and then we moved to Orlando.
In Jacksonville for 8 months.
The same aunt that we followed to Rochester now lived in Orlando. So now that's how we made the jump from Jacksonville to Orlando.
You know what I've noticed a lot with people who come from, while Puerto Rico's not another country, it's kind of like coming from another country in some ways because it's Spanish-speaking. I understand it's the 51st state type of thing. I get all that, but it feels like you're coming from another country when you move somewhere. When I see people who move from another country, or in this case, Puerto Rico, and they sort of follow the aunt or the uncle or whatever, that they're treated poorly. Like I've seen so many people when they followed the aunt or uncle, and then they end up having to sort of crash in their house for the first couple months while they get their feet on the ground, so to speak. They get treated differently than the actual family members. Did you experience any of that?
Oh yeah, of course. We were the lure. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, but you gotta give props for them helping us out. But at the same time, like the rations for food, that was ridiculous. Like when they were serving us kids versus their kids. And, like, oh, you can only drink water from the fridge. You can't drink soda. Don't drink any soda.
But their kids can, but you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this candy are for this. Don't, so we felt like my mom hated it. My mom was out of there fast because she knew what was going on.
Right.
But
she had no money either, probably, because she just moved to upstate New York and was probably trying to find a job or whatever. And you guys were reliant on the family. And I think that's BS, to be honest.
And this is my church family, by the way. This is the church.
Yeah.
Who own the church right now here in Apopka too. So
yeah, I mean sometimes those are the worst, to be honest with you. And I, like I said yesterday, I love God and all, but some of these like church people are a disaster. Honestly, selfish disasters.
Not all.
No, because they go to church and like kneel down a couple of times and they feel like they can be ass wipes the rest of the week.
Very true.
This is not everybody that goes to church, so I'm not trying to talk smack to those of you that go to church a lot, but you see the hypocrisy in some of these people. They go there on Sunday, put like $5 in the thing, or like $1 in the thing. What do you call the thing they pass around?
Yeah, the collection plate.
Whatever it's called.
I'll tell you a quick story about
please.
that. Why I really don't get along with them, and why, like, come on, man, like, help out your family. This is why I am the way I am with my friends. If I can help somebody, I'm gonna help them. Because if I need help in the future, I could call on that friend. So I was working I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Baker's Shoe Store and the Altamont Mall as well, at Bernheinz, which used to be a department store and all that in the Altamont Mall. So I would have to walk to the bus stop in Apopka, which was like a 2-mile walk to get to the bus stop on the regular 436 or 441, and then take it down to Altamont Springs Mall. And my cousin's wife, she was at my house and she was going to the mall. And I said, "Can you drop me off at the mall? Because I'm working on this side of the mall." And you're going. She said, "Oh no, I'm going to be at the other side of the mall. I'm not going to that side of the mall." I said, I didn't even. I looked at her. I looked at my mom. And I was, because I didn't even ask, because it makes no sense.
Right.
She just didn't want to do it. I will never forget that.
No, and you shouldn't ever forget that.
I was
because
so pissed.
There's absolutely no excuse for making you take the bus when she's going to the same place you were going, other than just being an asshole.
Oh yeah.
I would never forget that either. And that's the church girl too, probably.
But this is the type of family, everybody has family they don't mix with. I don't really like call them, mix with them. Or, no disrespect to them. I wish them all the best, but I don't see anything that I got to call them or mix with them, or we don't even do Thanksgiving with these people.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. And so their argument in their head is always going to be, well, we were there for you when you moved here, you stayed in our house. That's going to be their argument in their head.
And we'll always be appreciative for that.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. If I have family, if I have an effing friend who needs to get out of a situation or whatever, dude, they can stay at my house for as long as they want, and I'm gonna feed them. I'm gonna overfeed them. I'm gonna feed them more than I feed myself, because that's just who the hell I am. And I get so pissed off when I hear stories like that, and I hear that story all the time, and you don't forget it. You don't.
But that makes you who you are today,
It
not
sure
that
does.
person. So I appreciate the lesson.
But the whole, you're going to take the city bus. And by the way, the bus service in Florida is not exactly the subway system in New York City. You know what I mean?
And, back in the days, I used to think, I'm like, man, you know what? I came up with Uber in my head before Uber.
Oh,
'Cause I would sit there at the bus stop, and it was right at the light, and I would see all these cars with just like one driver in them. And I'm like, man, why don't these people just charge me? I'll pay them.
I'll give you $5.
They're going the same way.
Right.
I'll give them money. Can I just jump in? And
it'll save you an hour, too. I mean, it can take forever on these buses in Florida, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. And then the rest is kind of history. Then you started working at the radio station and had a son, and And you turned out to be a damn good guy.
Appreciate that, man.
Damn
Still
good guy.
working on it.
No, you are a great person, and we all appreciate that.
Likewise, man. Thank you. It's good to be here, man. It feels fun. It feels great to be with good people and a good atmosphere. You know what I mean? It makes it fun to come to work.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. So, LilShawn kind of grew up in Puerto Rico, now lives in Central Florida. I was actually born in Texas, but spent a lot of years in Tennessee, then Boston, Miami, Orlando. But I mean, how far away are you currently living from where you grew up? Do most people still stay in the city they grew up in, the city they went to high school in, or are most people migratory? And I live in Florida, and a lot of you live in Florida, and I think Florida is a fairly migrant state, so to speak, so it's probably even more pronounced here. But I think you'll be surprised how many people not only live in the same town they grew up in, a large percentage of us still live in the same house we grew up in.
Wow.
Is that the kind of life you want, or did you want to go spread your wings a little bit and learn who you are, as opposed to who you were sort of raised to be? We'll talk about that and so much more to get to, including, most importantly, the best brunch cities in America.
Did we make that list?
Did any Florida city make that list? We'll address that and more. Quick break in the news. It's Justin Clark on the Florida Man Radio Network.
Florida Man Radio.
It's Jesse Kelly. It's only right for me to have a home here at Florida Man Radio, unfiltered and unafraid. That's what you get from me, unapologetically. Take a ride with me, and we'll talk everything from pizza to politics. Whether it's tackling serious issues the mainstream media outlets are too scared to touch, or having a good time cracking jokes with all my red-blooded Americans out there. It's all for you weeknights at 7 p.m. on 660 a.m. and 105.5 FM, Florida Man Radio.
Creative floors, it's worth talking to the experts.
Spring has sprung at Mohawk Spring Savings Event at Creative Floors. Hi, Nancy here, and now until April 20th, this is a great time to save up to $1,000 on select Mohawk products with carpet, hardwood, waterproof wood, and vinyl plank. Now is a great opportunity to save, along with 18-month no-interest financing on these select products. Visit us at CreativeFloorsOnline.com for locations where it's worth talking to the experts.
Adam and Eve is not giving you 10% off and not 20% off or even 40%. Your discount is even bigger. AdamandEve.com is giving you a whopping 50% off. But why stop there? In addition to 50% off, you also get 10 free gifts. That includes a racy item for him, a sensuous toy for her, and something we know you'll both enjoy. Ooh. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. And best of all, free shipping. Always delivered in discreet packaging. So rethink your bedroom routine. Go to adamandeve.com and enter this station's exclusive code at checkout, FLMAN, and get, you know the discount, 50% off almost any item and 10 tantalizing free gifts. That's FLMAN, FLMAN.
Florida Man Radio is live on iHeartRadio. Download the iHeartRadio app and take Florida Man Radio with you everywhere you go, 24/7.
I can't get enough.
Get breaking news, sports, comedy, talk radio shows, and more, all in one place. And if it's podcasts you're looking for, guaranteed you'll find one for your specific needs right now on the iHeartRadio app. Florida Man Radio is everywhere.
Anywhere I want, anywhere I need.
Thanks to the iHeartRadio app.
Thinking about getting married but nervous about popping the question? IDC owner Keith LeClaire totally gets it.
When I asked my wife, Peggy, to be my bride, I had to drive all the way to Michigan to get married. I was 24 years old. I turned around twice on the way up and turned back coming back to Florida because I'm like, what am I doing? And I knew I had picked the right bride, but it was still scary.
The third time, Keith kept on driving. And now, 43 years later, he and Peggy are living their best life.
I married way above my head. Because of her, we're where we are today with 3 children, 10 grandchildren, and a lot of friends. happens. Having the right partner and being married, it's truly the biggest blessing of my life.
And seeing and helping other happy couples either just starting out or celebrating milestone anniversaries is what International Diamond Center is all about.
Life gets better each year that goes by. I'm just so thankful.
International Diamond Center with 4 Orlando locations where relationships come first always.
I love my wife dearly. She's the greatest, biggest blessing that God has ever given to me. There is nothing more important than my wife.
Gatorland knows you need more animals, more gators, and more fun. And now, Florida residents get what they need for less with $16.50 admission through the end of April. We know what y'all need. Y'all need Gatorland.
Hey Orlando, Guy Fieri here, aka the mayor of Flavortown, and guess what? I've been cooking up something special right here in Winter Park. It's my newest restaurant, Chicken Guy, and it is the real deal. Flock on to Chicken Guy at 1792 in Fairbanks in Winter Park. Visit chickenguy.com to learn more.
Share Healthcare, how can I
help? I missed the deadline.
What deadline?
The healthcare deadline. I'm locked out.
We don't have any deadlines at Share Healthcare. You can enroll with us at any time.
Oh, but can I afford it?
Share Healthcare programs start at $149 a month.
Less than $5 a day. Can I keep my doctor?
Absolutely. Pick your own doctor and hospital.
Amazing. How do I join?
Just visit sharehealthcare.com.
Sharehealthcare.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible. Talk to your doctor. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm News 6 anchor Justin. A jury has now been picked to hear the case against Anthony Todt in Osceola County. Todt is accused of killing his wife, 3 children, and the family dog inside a Celebration home back in 2020. He's facing life in prison, a life sentence if he's convicted. Opening statements in the case are now set for Monday. Governor DeSantis has signed a bill making sure Floridians can visit sick loved ones in the hospital and in nursing homes. The governor said the measure was needed so future leaders couldn't repeat what happened during the coronavirus pandemic when many were forced to be isolated for months. The new rules take effect immediately. And we're just one day currently set, May morning. Get breaking news around the clock on clickorlando.com.
WDYZ, Altamont Springs, WOTW HD3, Windermere, WXUS, HD3, Dunedin, Ocala, WCLB, Valparaiso, Florida Man Radio. Now, back to the Justin Clark Show on Florida Man Radio.
Hour number 2, Thursday morning. LilShawn's here. Beanbag Nation is here. Join us at 9:1055. We heard LilShawn's story in hour number 1, and it made me think, how many of us really still live in the state we grew up in or the neighborhood we grew up in? And I certainly don't. In fact, of all places, I was born in Houston, Texas. I think I left when I was 4. I only have one memory. It was riding a bike. Then we ended up in, I think, North Carolina, then Tennessee, then I was in Boston, Miami. So I've kind of been all over the place. In fact, I went to 4 different high schools before the second week of my sophomore year. So I'm well-traveled, as they say. But I got to thinking, how many of us still live sort of in the same neighborhood or the same city we went to high school in? And I researched it a little bit for you. And according to studies that they've done, 57% of us still live in our home state. So over half of us still live in the state that we grew up in. 33% of you still live in your hometown. So let's say you grew up in Brunswick, Georgia. You went to Brunswick High. You actually still live in Brunswick. And those of you that still live in the same city you grew up in, do you have any regrets about after high school not flying out and going to explore the world? Or do you kind of enjoy the fact that you're still in the same city you grew up in? Now, I think I would have gotten bored. I mean, there's something romantic about kind of living in the same neighborhood your whole life. There is. And especially for me, since I didn't do that. But then I also think I would have gone nuts, man. When you bought that first house, or your parents bought that first house, and you remember planting that little teeny tree in the backyard, and now that little tree is huge. because you've lived there so long and you've watched it grow? I mean, is that boring or is that fun? And I don't know. I don't necessarily know the right answer, but a lot of you are still living in the same place that you grew up. In fact, 4% of you say that you are in the same neighborhood that you grew up in, 3% you're on the same street, and 10% of Americans live in the same home in which they were raised. I don't know. Is that boring or is that awesome? What do you think? I mean, Shawn, would you get? It's boring to you. There's something romantic about it, and there's something like boring as hell.
But that's why it's only 10%.
Yeah,
So
10% of us live in the same house.
90% of us move away.
And 90% of that 10% only because they didn't have to pay for it. Their parents left it to them. They don't want to buy. They don't want to pay rent.
I'm like, how big is his house?
Yeah, exactly. They're like, you know what? Mom and Dad left it to me in the will. Might as well stay. We'll put some new carpeting down. It's brand new, just like new.
In the West Wing.
Oh my God! Look who it is, Jonathan Morris. What's up, my brother? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, brother. How you doing today?
I'm so good. I've been eating your meat a lot lately, by the way, and we got to get LilShawn up to Lake Mary, Florida, to visit more organic meats. He has not been there yet, and we're taking him soon.
Okay, yeah, either that or stick around on a Tuesday when I feed Shannon and them, and I'll drop something extra off there at the radio station for you.
Not only will I not stick around, I will not even listen to Shando's show during your bit anymore because I get so hungry, jealous, all of the above. I can't even listen. I hear them like going, "Oh, it's so good." I mean, I turn it off at that point because I'm like, I need some of that meat.
Well, you know, all you gotta do is invite me on the show one day, and I always come with food. Because Daddy, you know, we do a brunch. You talk about brunch, we could do a brunch.
Open invite, but run it by Shando first, because I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Just run it by him and be like, "Hey, I'm promoting some certain thing, and I want to extra promote it. So I want to go on Justin's show." Like, approach him like it wasn't my idea. You know what I mean?
I got you. Maybe, hopefully he's not listening right now.
I know.
Spoil it off. Hey, two things real quick. I'm hauling cows, so I'm driving right now. You know, I heard y'all. I got in the truck right when you were talking about church. You know, it's a shame because I believe in Jesus 100%, and the church gives God such a bad name because today's church is made by man, and it's all about corporation and money.
Yeah.
And I want to believe that preachers start with good intentions, and then next thing they know, they go from a church of 50 to 100 to a church to 1,000, and they get the money bug, and they start getting greedy and want bigger buildings and bigger TVs and bigger everything, and then it turns bad. But, you know, just wanted to throw this out there. If anybody wants to know the truth, God wants relationships. And when you have a relationship with God, he says where 2 or 3 are gathered together, he's there. So that's church.
Yeah.
So 2 or 3 people hanging out talking about God, helping each other, you know, taking care of the orphans and the widows and the people that are less needy. That's what God's all about. He's not about 1,000 people sitting in a building on a Sunday morning.
I fully agree with you, and that's why it's very hard for me to sort of decide what denomination I am. I also believe in God, just like you do. But I cannot stand these people that they think they can go in for an hour on Sunday and be a-holes the rest of the week. And I believe, in my heart of hearts, I believe that I'm going to be judged by the way I make other people feel, other people that I come into contact with, how I make them feel, if I can make their day better, if I can make good decisions and like I call it karma, like you called it earlier, whatever you want to call it. It's like I live my life trying to be nice to other people.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy? If you told me you had 100 of something, it don't matter. If you had 100 of something, and I said, hey, on Friday I'm going to throw many of them away. Out of 100, how many is many?
Yeah. What do you think?
More than half? 3/4?
Yeah, I guess.
If you had 100, let's say you had $100 bills, and I said, hey, on Friday when you hand me $100 bills, $100 bills, I'm going to throw many of them in the trash can and burn them. So many would be more than half, right? Maybe 3/4.
Yeah.
The Bible says that on the last day when we all stand before God, many, he's going to tell, depart from me, I don't know you. So don't get caught up in constructional church. Just make sure you know who God is.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, real quick, I was born and raised in a town called Pahokee, Florida.
I know it.
The same doctor that delivered me delivered my first 3 children.
Dang.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted something better for my children, I'd still be in Pahokee, Florida right now growing sugar cane.
Yeah.
But so anyways, I'm one of the 10% that was never left home if it wasn't for my kids.
And Pahokee misses you, but we're sure happy you're here, buddy. All right, we love you, man. Hey, give the family a hug from me, pal.
I'll let y'all live.
All right, Jonathan Morris, Organic Meats.
Well
What
said.
a guy.
Yeah, my mom was always like that as well. She always told us, don't worry about the people at the church. We go to the church for the message.
Yeah, my guess. Let me hit a couple of text messages here. Let's see how we've done today. And I don't know. I mean, again, the first hour was really all about your story, and that's what I intended to. So I thought it was fantastic. I think your story is fantastic.
Appreciate it.
I don't know how Beanbag Nation felt, but I feel like we're probably going to have some positive messages here, and I haven't looked at any of them yet. Let's see. Bebby's here in Tennessee. Great job today. You guys make a great team.
Awesome.
Thank you. So many messages, my goodness. Ray is here.
Ray.
Good morning, guys. It looks like LilShawn has finally found his place, and it's with you, JC. You guys are absolutely awesome. My mother, I admire how Shawn is unassuming and gentle with big radio personality. Mama Clark doesn't like arrogance. You all fit perfectly together. Thanks for sharing, Shawn, because I know it's difficult reliving our past. You built your great character through the down times in life.
Oh, she's awesome, man.
Roger's here. Good morning, guys. Florida Man Radio just keeps on getting better and better. Welcome, Shawn. Collins here. I can see Justin in an Adidas tracksuit and a beanie doing head spins.
With tap shoes on.
I think he's talking about when he went to the breakdance competition. I thought it was tap dance. Dave the drummer's here. Good morning, gang. Great intro, Shawn. We have literally been watching a truck try to back up to our dock for 45 minutes. Must have just gotten her license. Yeah, I know. And so many more messages. Sorry if I missed a lot of you. I know. Guy in Deltona. When I moved to Florida to better my life, my little brother guilted me for leaving him and my mother. Our father passed when he was 13. Tony, Michigan. I moved 100 miles away from home. I really enjoy going back and visiting my hometown. Pete, my current house is in the same township as the house I grew up in. I did move around some, but the majority of the time has been in the same country. Lee is here, North Carolina. I moved from Florida to California in 86. Moved to North Carolina 2009. Shawn is here, Jacksonville. Morning, fellas. I'm 11.4 miles from the house I was raised in. Big John is here. Shawn is awesome. Love him. I was born in Springfield, Oregon. Left 25 years ago. Tia and Destin. Hello, Tia. Diamonds can only be made under pressure. LilShawn, you are a diamond.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
I love you. And speaking of diamonds, and our little precious diamond here, big precious diamond named LilShawn, I think it's time to get off of LilShawn's lawn.
Are you going to play it? You want me to play it?
Yeah, one moment. Let's start over. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Get off my lawn. Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now.
Get off my lawn with LilShawn.
Get off my lawn. Hey, you damn kids! Get off my lawn!
On Florida Man Radio.
All right.
Hey.
I like it. First and foremost, man, thanks to Murph Dog for helping out with that intro, man. It's awesome.
He's the man.
And the Beanbag Nation for approving. Now, today's Get Off My Lawn is going out to a whole zoo in Chicago. You wouldn't think a zoo would have this type of problem. This is the type of problem that parents have with their kids and their teenagers, but a zoo is having a big problem with one of their teenage gorillas.
What?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges for parents is teenagers and monitoring their screen time, right? So now a zoo is having the exact same problem with, get this, a teenage gorilla.
Hold up. Are they on an iPad or an iPhone? Do we know?
Zookeepers is Chicago's Lincoln Park Zoo. They're concerned about Amari, a teenage gorilla who's obsessed with looking at visitors' phones through the glass. Now, he sits at the glass and gets a bunch of guests to show him the phone. He points at it and whatnot. They start showing him the phone, and he just gets enthralled in the phone. So they're worried that's making him antisocial. Really?
Antisocial gorilla. Interesting.
So they're worried that he's being distracted. For example, last week, another teenage gorilla rushed at him to show aggression, and Amari didn't seem to notice. So they're concerned that something may happen to him, as far as like with the other gorillas who are paying more attention to dominance. And he's over here stuck on TikTok, like gorilla TikTok or whatnot. But at the same time, man, what are you going to do, man? You got to let how can we integrate this into their enclosure, if you will. Maybe for food, maybe make like a big old iPhone, if you will. Let them start communicating with you somehow. They want food. They can start pressing like the food app or whatnot. Zoo officials have installed a rope to keep the visitors and their phones away from the glass and hope this will help Amari's screen time so he has time to play and interact with the other gorillas and not get hurt by unsuspecting attacks.
It's hard enough for me to convince my 9-year-old to go outside and play with her friends, let alone a gorilla. You know what I mean? How do you convince a gorilla to go out and play with their friends? It's hard to do. That's a hard conversation to have.
Especially when he's already, stuck on the screen time. And you already give him TikTok. He's already on the TikTok right there.
Exactly. Anything else?
That's it, man.
Excellent work today. That has been Get Off My Lawn with LilShawn.
Thanks, Murph.
Do you like Cracker? Are you a Cracker Jack person or no?
I'm okay. I like Cracker Jack.
When's the last time you had a Cracker Jack? Because I got to tell you, for me, it's been a long time. When I think baseball, I think Cracker Jacks.
Yes, it was at the baseball field, spring training last year at Disney's Wild World of Sports. We went to go see the Braves play the Marlins.
And today is opening day for Major League Baseball. In fact, I believe Tiger Woods also, in other sporting news, is teeing off right about now. We'll check in with him, actually, when we take the next break. But when I think Cracker Jacks, I think baseball, and it just happens to be opening day in Major League Baseball. But if you don't like Cracker Jacks, there is something you might want to try now. It's the Cracker Jill. Yeah, to keep up with the society, they didn't think it was right just to have a Cracker Jack. Now they have a Cracker Jill.
Is Leah Thompson's face in the front?
I don't know. I'm not sure who's on the front of that box. But this is to help promote women's sports, I guess. They also have a new version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game with different lyrics that are performed by Normani.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who Normani is?
She's an artist. I think she's a pop artist, right?
I don't know.
I've heard of her.
I was asking you. I don't know. Let's see.
Me out to the ball game.
That's Normani. Oh, yeah, Normani.
To the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jill. No one can stop you if you have the will. So let's root for a good street. We're adding our face to the game, and we'll run, throw with never a doubt. It's a new ball. Yeah.
No, I don't like it. I'm sorry.
That was Normani singing
too much.
Cracker Jill, Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Too much.
Now, I don't know how they taste. I have no idea. It might be the exact same thing in a different box.
I think it is.
I don't know. But they have Cracker Jills now. I love going to baseball games 2 or 3 times a year. I went to the Red Sox-Rays playoff series in Boston in, I guess, October or whatever. Went to 2 games back-to-back,
Awesome.
Front row in Fenway. It was pretty ridiculously awesome. It was a great trip.
Fenway's amazing.
But it's not even necessarily the tickets. Well, by the way, those tickets were like $1,000 each. They were very expensive. But it's even if you get just regular $30 tickets, it's expensive to go to a baseball game, with booze and food and concessions. It gets expensive. The stadium that on average people spend the most on booze is actually in Oakland, the A's.
Wow.
On average, they spend the most at the bar, at the game. Braves fans, for those of you in Atlanta, spend the most on team merchandise and gear. But the average Oakland A's fan spends $58 on alcohol at the game. Just on booze, $58. $58.
You say that's more than here?
Yeah. St. Louis.
2 drinks here.
I know. Cardinals fans spend $43 on booze. And it's the Rangers, Cubs, White Sox, in that order, spend the most. The league average for booze is $27.77. Detroit Tiger fans spend the least on booze, which is surprising because I think if you live in Detroit, you got to drink all the time just because you live in Detroit. You only spend $15 per game on booze. At concession stands, Oakland A's fans spend the most at concessions as well. When you add booze and food together, on average, each person spends $134 on booze and food at these games. And that's not for a family. That's for one person. It's kind of crazy, right? If you think about it. It's a lot of money. The league average in Major League Baseball for in-stadium food and drink is $74 per person. Damn, I mean, I think they make more money off of that than tickets, if you think about it.
And I think it's still cheaper than basketball.
Yeah, like, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, if you go to a NBA game, what does a beer cost you?
$15.
In fact, just a regular old beer, right? For a Bud Light, $15 easy. It gets expensive. Imagine you have a family of 5. I mean, we're talking about $500 on just food.
Oh, I took my son one day because I got spoiled by working it a bunch of times, the Orlando Magic. And so we got a lot of tickets all the time, and I was able to take my son down to the Mercedes Lounge, and you got free food and free beer and this. So one day he wanted to go to a game because he likes the Raptors, and he wanted to go watch them. And I didn't have free tickets. So I was like, you know what? I could bite the bullet. I've gotten so many free tickets, I can go ahead and support. You know what I mean?
Right.
So tickets, $350 for 2 tickets, right? Because I didn't want to sit all the way. So we sat in the middle, $350.
Yeah.
And then we got food and everything. By the time we were out of there, $700 night just for me and my son.
Damn.
Yeah.
It does get expensive. Very expensive. And that's just for one kid. Imagine you got 3. All right, we got to take a break. When we get back, in other food news, this wonderful mother in Louisiana packed her daughter a lunch to take to her preschool the other day. Unfortunately, she left a few things in the lunchbox that were none too thrilling to the teachers at this preschool, including meth, half a Xanny bar, and several doses of clonazepam in her lunchbox. Wow. Also, I've got the best cities for brunch. Are you a brunch person? Well, I got the rundown for you on where to get some good brunch. One last quick break. It's Justin Clark. Hold on. It's Justin Clark on the Florida Man Radio Network.
Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jill. No one can stop you if you have the will. So let's root for a good street. We're adding our face to the game, and we'll run through with never a doubt. It's a new ball,
Florida Man Radio.
Get your fix of Florida Man Radio anytime and anywhere you are. Of course, you can catch Florida Man on 660 AM and 105.5 FM. But now you can listen wherever you are with the all-new Florida Man Radio app. And don't miss a second of the conversation at home by listening on your Alexa device. Just say, Alexa, play 105.5 Florida Man Radio. Florida Man is everywhere, unfiltered, unafraid. Get it how you need to, now.
Bubba the Love Sponge. Hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge. Listen every weekday mornings right here on Florida Man Radio. Powered by Anna Jar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3. From catastrophic property damage to your home, attorneys at Lien Law PA are here to help. From simple policy reviews to complex jury trials, you